let's do it again. Oh! Oh, well, we don't do for our viewers. Hey guys, Jamie here, Real Steel. Today's project, we are back on the 78 Dodge D-200 that belongs to my buddy, Big Kenny. And the thing with it was, he blew it up last year. That's right. Shortly after I traded it to him, he started driving it, and I guess he didn't check his fluids and stuff, and yeah, he locked the engine up. So today's project, this project is going to take more than one day. This project, we are going to be putting an engine in this truck for him. So yeah, originally I had planned this as a one-parter, but I'm splitting it up. So part one will be getting the RV360 prepared, put back together to go in here. And part two, which I've already started filming, we will be attacking the truck. So I'm going to quit yapping and I'm going to start working. So let's get started. Alright, y'all. To kick this project off, we need to get this engine assembled. Now this is the RV360 that I did a couple videos on. I was going to use it in my four-wheel drive, but then when Kenny blew that truck up, I decided that we'd use it for that. So we need to get this thing assembled. Now this is not going to be a pretty job, you know. We're not detailing it. We're just trying to get it on the road, you know, so he can have a truck because he doesn't have a set of wheels right now. But anyway, I'm going to set y'all up on the laps. Y'all have watched me do this a million times in a bunch of other videos. So we'll set you up on the laps. We'll get the front end together on it, and we'll flip it, do the oil pan, and then the intake. So let's get started. Y'all went ahead, got everything done, and while y'all weren't looking on the timing cover bolts, I went ahead and pulled them out and re-siliconed them because I kind of forgot to do that. But anyway, I dry fitted the water pump to try to suck the timing cover in. I thought I had a water pump gasket, but I messed up and I didn't order one. So yeah, so that's got to come back off, and I'll seal those bolts up when I put the brackets on. Some of the bolts I would have had to come back out anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. But anyway, I think next step, I'm going to clean all my tools off the engine, and we're going to flip her upside down and do the oil pan. So let's keep going. All good sounds, I think. It's over, though. It's over. Dang, I need to save us some money and get some adjustable, one of them crank-up engine stands. That'd be so nice. But, yeah. But we are where we are, so I ain't too worried about it. I've also got, while I'm doing this, I got to retighten the, rod bolt here because I checked the bearing on it. So, and the bearings were okay to run. So I'll torque him down in the sequence, and I got to finish cleaning it up. And before I start, I need to find the oil pan. Yeah, don't take engines apart for 2 years and leave them apart for 2 years, you'll forget where everything is, you know? Don't do that. Same with cars. Don't take them apart and let them sit for years. You'll forget everything. So take it from me. And I'm a half-hack pro. So yeah. But anyway, I'm going to clean that up off camera and then we'll get started. Alright, y'all. It's another day. Had to go to town. I actually had my water pump gasket in stock, so I was able to get that, but by the time I got done running other errands, it was too late. So anyway, we're going to start where we left off. Now, a couple things did change. Well, one big one. I changed the pickup screen because, let me see if I can find the old one in my mess here. It's full of some kind of sludgy stuff. And yeah, I got some of it loose, but I don't know that there'd be anything inside. So yeah, went ahead and changed that. I had that one out of a running motor, so it's fine. Let's put that over there for now. Probably scrap bin. Now, on a 318, you saw me do the front seals on the pan. You know, front and rear. This is the same type of seal, but on a 360... the rear seal is this little style here that goes into the this groove on the rear main cap. And it kind of tucks down in there. You can see it's got some little arms there that kind of tuck in. So what we're gonna do here, let me see if I can, you know what? I'm gonna hold off on that. Let me set y'all up real quick. Sorry, my garage is a mess. I'm transitioning from scrapper to mechanic. So yeah, let me get y'all set up here. And I'm kind of working toward getting this clean. Let me get y'all a good angle here. Alright, so what we're gonna do here, well, if I can quit kicking y'all, you know, that might help. Doing real good. So what we're gonna do here is it's always a good idea to put sealant, you know, where gasket surfaces meet. I don't know that you've really got to do this, but we're going to have a little bit of sealant right there on the ends. It don't got to be much. And just a little bit there. And this is going to go into the groove there where this goes into them little notches. So, start with that. And set you out of the way. Don't you fall in that motor. We'll go ahead and lose half my sealant. That's okay. We'll push him down. And we'll push him down into the groove as well. And kind of make sure he's seated into that groove in the rear main. So yeah, we'll do that. And now when we do the oil pan gaskets, I'll run a smooth sealant like right there, because that's where the oil pan cork gaskets will meet this. So yeah. And then, let me, give me a second here. Now, sorry it's so kind of weird, but we will, and the lighting's not great, but we'll also run a bead of sealant right here at the timing cover, you know, because that's also where two gaskets meet. So, I'm going to set y'all up on the laps, and we'll get going. So, hang on. All right, y'all, this is something new I've never experienced before. These pan gaskets have shrunk. That's right. See, that's aligned. This is all aligned. See out the end? They've gotten shorter. This is a little bit of a dilemma. So I think what I'm going to do is probably just going to have to put some sealant on there and then put some bolts in there and hold it to the block. Hopefully that works. I don't know. I have never seen that. And I've tried to stretch them, and they'll stretch, but I'm afraid that if I pull too hard, they're going to collapse, you know, or rip, you know. So, wow. But anyway, let's see what we can do here. This will be real time, so if I screw up, you know, you'll all get to see it. Oh, man, I have never had that problem before. Gasket shrinkage. You never know. Anything's possible, but still sucks. But what do, you know? Well, I guess I should probably find a home for my bolts. This is not one of those days, y'all. It is a Lulu of a day. Here, let me get my bench over here. I'll tell you what, I need one of them dadgum rolly carts. But those things, even the poly versions, those things are so dadgum expensive, it's not even funny. You know, so I do what I can. Who knows? But I think that's about the only way I know how to do it is to put some sealant on the gasket and kind of seal it to the block, you know, and hope that it'll stretch that way. Because, like I say, I'm hesitant to just stretch it, you know, because I'm afraid that it's going to tear. But, you know, I have never had a cork gasket shrink on me. It's just weird. Let's get a nice schmoo of this stuff on there. Get on there. There we go. Alright. Gasket shrinkage. Guess that's what happens when they get older. I don't know. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sneak some bolts in here. And then I'll wait for this stuff to kind of tack up a little bit. And then I'll pull them out and hopefully it'll hold. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to have to probably put several of them in there. Strange. Okie dokie. And then I'll still smooth some sealant, you know, where I'm supposed to, but I'll have to do the gaskets before the sealant. So, it is what it is. Can't do nothing about it. I ain't got time to order. You know, we got to get this truck done yesterday. So, if this works, great. If not, I don't know what I'm going to do. So, yeah. Alright. I'm going to get the other side done real quick, and then when we're ready to test the oil pan, we'll come right back. So, hang on. Alright, y'all. Some time has passed. I ran into town and I have a solution. And if this doesn't work, I have a solution. So let's pull these bolts out here and see if this thing is going to move, which I hope not. I mean, it seems like it's staying put, so that's a good thing. Yeah, it's in there enough to where I'm comfortable. You know, we're not going to like jostle it around too much or anything, but I think it'll be okay. Let me go ahead and pull all these out real quick. Well, this thing's wanting to move a little bit. We may need to come up with my other solution here. Which, I got a good solution for it. So, yeah, we're just going to leave the bolts in right now. But I do have a solution for this, but it'll take me a few minutes to set it up. So, yeah, I won't film it, you know. But, me cutting this, but this is my solution. I'm going to make studs out of this all thread here. And then I'll just set the pan down on the studs. And the gasket shouldn't move. So, yeah. I had to run to town and get that. But, hey, sometimes you got to use your noggin for some solutions. So, stand by. Alright, y'all. Stud experiment didn't go quite to plan. It would have been fine, but I didn't have a way to tap and die the end. So, I sacrificed a couple bolts, made do with what I can. So, now, let's continue, hopefully without interruptions. Oh yeah, I did have to flip it back over. A stupid oil pan bolt fell into one of the pistons. Fun. And I couldn't find my magnet. But anyway, I'm going to shellac the top of these and we'll put some sealer down in the corners and hopefully we can finally put that oil pan on here. Yeah, I'm ready to do that. A little dab for you. Little dab for you. And a scotch here. It'll be fine. There we go. And yeah, there There we go. All right. Now, let's get a little bit of this stuff on there. There is some stuff on it already, but while we're here, just give her a little. Yeah, I probably could have used some different sealant and stuff, but hey, it is what it is. I ain't too worried about it. Nice. Get the other sealant in your brush, Jamie. That was real smart. Oh well. Such is life. There we go. Now we got it. That'll be fine up there. Alright. Might need some more. Okay. We'll get it on one way or another. And we're going to pray it don't leak. I don't think it's going to. But, never know. This just ain't been my day, y'all. It's been one of those days. But we're still here. We're making progress, so that's all that matters. Yeah, got him a little bit in there. All right. Let's go ahead now and put this to the side. And let's get the pen hammered home. All right. It might help to put it on the right way, you know. Things sometimes can fit backwards, but not this oil pan. Over the studs you go. Who's your daddy? All right. Get some bolts here. We'll start sending it home. There we go. Sorry, I'm blocking out the camera view. There we go. Now she's coming home. All right. Well, maybe he wants to go in there. There he goes. All right. Let me get some bolts on the other side. Where did I put everything? Oh, there's a few. All right. Here we go. Let's see, my dadgum shop's a mess, y'all. From scrapping. I still ain't got it cleaned up, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Yeah, that'll be fine right there. Who'd have thunk? Oil pan studs. You know, you stud your mains, you stud your heads, but I've never heard of anybody studding an oil pan before. Hey, never know. Unless they do it in the racing world. But, never know. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Those front ones are going to be fun. But, it'll be fine. Alright. I'm going to draw this thing down a little bit. There we go. That way I can back my studs out. Give me just a second. Okay, here's the moment of truth. Okay, he's coming out. Good. I was worried about that one. There we go. Good deal. Alright. Now this one's going to be fun, but hey, it'll come out. I've got that little teat to play with to work around. Yeah, them little boogers. Would you get out of there? What is your problem? Okay, there we go. He's out. I might need to make him a little longer if I want to stud an oil pan. Alright, now this one is going to be fun to get in. Maybe not. Maybe not. Alright. Oakley dokley. Alright. Stand by, y'all. I need to get some tools gathered up. Alright, here we go. Now remember, you ain't got to torque these to the moon. Sorry. We got a semi driving by hauling a big dozer. So, yeah. Farm traffic and stuff. Alright. Oh, man. Hope y'all's day's going a little bit better than mine. It ain't been a terrible day, but it's been one of those days. There we go. Alright, y'all. It's been a few days later. Boy, we got through the cold snap, man. That was a little rough, but we made it alright. Plus a doctor's appointment and some other stuff. So, yeah. But this is where we are. As you can see, I got the water pump gasket on. Lapsed that because you've seen me do this stuff, you know. Same with the intake. Got the intake on. Torqued everything down and off camera. So, yeah, we're good to go. Now, I did silicone the bolts that could be tight, but this one here, and this one here, they have to be taken back out, so I didn't silicone them for the accessories that are going to go on this. So, next step, since this motor's been dry, I'm going to go ahead, since the distributor drive gear fell out, I was going to pull the gear out anyway, but since that is, I've got this priming tool for a Mopar. So I'm going to dump some oil down in this thing here in just a little while, and then what we'll do is I don't know how well y'all can see. I don't have good light, but this thing fits down where the distributor drive gear, and it engages a hex in the oil pump. Let's see if I can get that down. Yeah, now you can see it. See, this is the bushing for the drive gear. This goes right down in there, and yeah, it turns the oil pump. So yeah, we put that in a drill and it spins. Now, if you don't have this tool, you know, you can get them pretty well, but you can make your own. on a big block, this is a small block gear, but on a big block I made my own. And what I did was I ground this thing down round. I ground all the teeth off the gear. And see that slot in there, you can put a little screwdriver in there and do the same thing. You know, put a little flat blade in there. I know the lighting's not great. I need to upgrade. Yeah, so see that slot in there. You grind this thing down smooth where there's no teeth on it, where it won't engage the cam. Or you can cut, well, you don't really want to cut the gear off, but just grind it smooth. And you can put a screwdriver in that little slot down there, or an old distributor or something, and free spin the oil pump that way. Now remember, on a small block Mopar, it goes clockwise. On a big block Mopar, it goes counterclockwise. So yeah, I gotta go to town. Did some work on the pickup today. I got to go to town and get some oil, and then we'll come back and we'll oil this thing up and slam some covers on it. As far as like the accessories and stuff go, I may put a thermostat in it before I put it in, but otherwise I'm gonna wait to, you know, use everything. You know, exhaust manifolds, I'm gonna use off his engine and things like that, and you know, we'll put a carb on it. But as far as it being on the stand, it's pretty well almost ready to pull off. You know, we get it pre-lubed and ready to go, we'll be good to go for it, and we can start pulling the engine out of that thing. Yeah, now remember, it's locked up solid, so we're definitely gonna have to pull the converter with it, unfortunately. But let me get the hood open on this guy. But yeah, you can see I put the AC compressor up. You can see what all accessories I'm gonna use. You know, there's the power steering pump, exhaust, and all that. But we're pretty dadgum close to getting this thing out and getting the other one in. Oh yeah, we'll have to transfer the fuel pump and motor mounts, but hey, no big deal. You know, it's just a day in the life for me. You know, this is my bread and butter, so it shouldn't be too bad. But anyway, I'm rambling. Let me go get that oil, and I'll bring y'all back when we prime this bad boy up. So hang on. All right, y'all, got her filled up with oil, at least 4 quarts. Oh yeah, I got to put a filter on it. I'll have to go get that. What we're going to do now is we're going to chuck up the drill and we're going to prime this thing up. Now to plug this sender hole, or plug this hole here, I went ahead and just put a sender in it. So yeah, but let me change the filter real quick and then we'll get started on this. We're also going to rotate the crank around a little bit, but before we do, we want to, if I can get y'all in here, this is kind of a challenge here, but it'll be fine. Okay, now can I get y'all in here? Yeah, note the position of that timing mark. That balancer has slipped, so yeah, it's about 15 degrees off. So when we go to put this thing back at top dead center, we need to note that position. So yeah, just one of those things. And then once we put it back into that position, we'll know we can put the distributor drive gear in correctly. So anyway, let's get started. All right, y'all. Hopefully my tripod doesn't self-adjust. The adjuster on the tripod, the adjuster thing, plastic thing on the tripod broke. So yeah, let's get this old power flow off here. Yeah. Oh, it's wanting to hit the bolt because it's bent. Okay. Well, that's fine. Power flow, huh? Oil filter. Yeah, all it says is power flow oil filter in a couple different languages. Alright. Now, this filter here, this is what I run. It works pretty good. It's just a STP S16, but I run these on my rigs just fine. Alright, there she goes. Alright, we'll get her hand tight. You don't gotta torque these things with the filter wrench. Hand tight only. And yes, I did lubricate the gasket with oil before I put the filter on. Always put a skim coat of oil around your filter gasket there. Lid on him. Alright, let's go ahead. Let me get my tool here. Inserted. There we go. Now we're into the pump. Now I know I won't be able to read like oil pressure readings and stuff, but it'll be alright. Oh, come on. Well, maybe. My Chuck don't want to cooperate. Alright, 1 second here while I plug him in. Get him engaged. Alright, I'm going to slip behind y'all and grab the plug. I thought I was ready to shoot, but nope. Alright. Here we go. You'll notice it slows the drill down whenever it starts building pressure. And if I let go of it, the drill would start spinning because it's got torque. Not seeing anything up to the top yet. Let's see here. No, not yet. Let me give the crank a quick rotate. Whoa! As I trip on everything. There we go! See that? Lots of oil. Yeah, I like that. Let's get some oil to the other side now. All right. I'm pretty confident we're going to be good. All right. I hear some oil squirting, so I think we're getting there. All right. Let me get a better bite on this. Taking its good sweet time getting to the other side, but I am hearing it. There we go. We got oil over there. It's what I needed to see. Heck yeah, she's primed up, y'all. That's good. That's good. The reason for rotating it is so you can get to different oil passage open. You don't want to just, when you pre-lube them, you don't leave them in one spot. Otherwise, you won't get everything pre-lubed. Now, I probably did not need to pre-lube this motor because I didn't put a pump on it, but I figured it's been sitting dry for quite a while, so, you know, it's just good precaution. But anyway, now that that's done, I think we are pretty much almost done with this thing. I mean, valve covers, I think I'm going to use his valve covers. So yeah, but we'll go ahead and put the distributor gear in real quick. So let's bring this up to top dead center. All right. And I'm sure y'all can't see a dang thing I'm doing. If my tripod would cooperate, let's see here. Come here. Let's see if I can do it one-handed. All right, let's see. Oh, come on, baby. Yeah, I should have left the plugs out. But I didn't. It's alright. It's alright. Now, we're on the exhaust stroke of the... we're on the exhaust stroke of number 1. So, we should be getting there. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on, baby. Where you at? Sorry for all this. There we go. There's exhaust stroke. Okay. Yeah. The intake's getting ready to come open. So, yeah. All right. Well, we are good to go there. I'm going to rotate it off camera 180 degrees. That way I'll know. Well, I really don't know that it matters, but, you know, we'll figure it out. But anyway, I'm going to rotate it again, and we'll drop the distributor gear in. Alright, y'all. If this video don't turn out great, I apologize. It's been one of those days. So yeah, you can see the tooth now how it faces more toward the driver's side. Let's drop this in here. Come on, get in there. Would you get in your home? Yeah, see? That's where you want it, right there. Kind of facing number one cylinder. I mean, I could have ran it a tooth off and just moved my wires and stuff, but I figure while I'm here, I might as well just do it right. So yeah, there is that thing now. Now we're going to continue with the truck portion. All right, y'all. The original plan was for me to go ahead and film the whole project at once, you know, getting the engine prepped and getting the engine in the truck and it running. But I realized after some editing that it's going to be a little longer video than I would like. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and split it up into two parts. This part here, was mainly the engine. And the next part, we are going to be pulling the engine out of the truck. And we're going to be getting this engine set in there, finished prepped and set in there. So stay tuned for that. But anyway, this is Jamie from Real Steel Auto Works. And we'll catch y'all on the flip side. See ya!